So good evening, everyone. Welcome to Come Paint With Me. I'm Angela, and I have some guests in the studio that you might have to see on the top there. Tonight, we are going to be doing something called taking a line for a walk. So this is something that we might do next week as well. Just trying to get my lighting right because I realized, there we go. So you will need a sketch pad and a pencil. So if you haven't got it already, go and get yourself a sketch pad and a pencil. And so the idea is that we won't be taking the pencil off the paper, okay? So I want you to put, it can be anywhere. I'm really hot, so I'm just going to take all my massive jackets off and stuff. We are going to be back every Wednesday with Come Paint With Me, and looking like it's going to be 6 o'clock every Wednesday night for the foreseeable future. I've asked some of our guests this evening what would their goals be for the group, and what would they like to cover in the calls. So if you can send me messages, those of you on Facebook who want to join in, that would be wonderful, and then I can incorporate those things into the calls. So here we go. I'm a little bit nervous about this. I've not really done this before. I did it on a session a few weeks ago, but anyway. So hopefully you can see my let me actually pinpoint my other one. There we go. So actually we'll unpin me. And then you've just got this, so you'll be able to see. So here we go. So put your pencil on the paper, and basically you're not going to take it off, okay? So those of you that are here, we can talk if you like, but okay, we're going. So you don't need to think about it. Just let your pencil. Right, I'll let somebody in. Let your pencil just go for it. Make all kinds of try not to cross over a line like I've just done. There's all kinds of different ones you can do with this, actually. I saw another one before with she used watercolor. So hopefully,
my apologies, my phone went off. I can only apologize.
No, it's fine.
Was charging, but it decided to just go off anyway.
It's an occupational hazard, isn't it? With
I've got my arm going. It's, you know what I'm saying about my arm, but it's where the charger is in relation to me seeing this and be able to do what I'm doing. Anyway, come on.
I just realized, guys, you cannot see what I'm doing because it's well, I'm gonna use a felt tip in a bit, so hopefully you'll be able to see a bit more of where my lines are going, but you can see where my hand's going, I'm guessing. By the way, Joy, just to let you know, we are recording.
That's fine. I saw it as I came on. That's no problem.
We're on Facebook as well. Wow. The thing they don't tell you about with this is that your pencil rapidly loses its sharpness. Wow, mine looks like British Isles. The thing that on the meeting I had a few weeks ago, the lady said, oh, see what shapes you might find. And you do this, you might go, oh, there's a shape, or that looks like something. And all the people who did it, oh no, it's come off. That was a mistake. They all had wonderful pictures, and I was like, that wasn't the point. I don't know if we were all meant to show how amazing artists we were, because that was not the point. More about Okay, oh, I've gone off the page. Might need to go into. I'm doing a bit differently to the lady. Guess I'm doing it Angela style. There is loads of ways you can do this actually. Might you know, it's not easy to keep your there's no hole there. Oh, well, I'm going to go, I don't know what to go back. It's not easy to keep your hand on the page without taking it off. I want to get out of there, but I can't. How's everybody getting on? I was just going to say, oh, does anybody need any help? Do you know what? I'm going to have to break the rules. I'm going to have to come over a line to get out of where I was because I was stuck. This is a bit like, and there's I go again, and I'm going to be stuck again. So I'm going to break the rule and come out into here. There we go.
And
yeah,
I'm assuming because on the video she stopped at one point and started filling in the didn't she?
Yeah. I'm just doing it Angela style, but yeah, we could do that in a sec. Yeah, that's fine. I don't know about you.
I'm on a smaller. I'm on a much smaller. I don't know if you can see me. Can you see me?
No, your camera's off.
Oh, that'd be why.
I'll pinpoint you 1 second.
Oh, I've got me. I'm on now. I can see myself.
Yeah, but there we go. There you are, pinpointed.
Because I've just got I've got it on a small pad.
Yay, you're doing it. Awesome. Right. I don't know if anybody else wants to. Do you know, I was going to say, for example, say, Paul, how are you getting on? And I was thinking that I could kind of go and help, although he is only next door, so theoretically I could, but I won't.
On his own space there, don't you, Paul?
What's that, Paul?
The screen.
It's my demon in the lines.
Yeah, great. What we'll do, guys. So one thing I was going to suggest, and I was going to suggest this before before we went live, but it's okay. How do people feel about? I mean, some of you don't have phones. I mean, smartphones, but we're going to rectify that very soon, Georgina. Because you do have one. We just need to get it working. How would people feel about? Well, there's the page you could post your pictures on. You can WhatsApp them to me, but I was thinking that we could have a group. Now, some of you might be like, I don't need to be any part of any more groups. I know I'm part of a lot of groups as well, but it would be a really nice way of us keeping in touch and posting our pictures to each other, encouraging each other just in this art journey. But we don't have to, and you can send me a private message afterwards to let me know if you're up for that. Some of you might be, some of you might not be, and that's fine. So I am getting another pen now. And mine doesn't look anything like the ladies. I'll show you mine actually. I'm going to,
just, Can you pull your maybe it round with, so it's
not really, because you see it's
the
white.
other way.
You're not going to be able to see it. So 1 sec. I'm just going to unpin you, Joy, just for now, just so that.
Oh, you didn't need to pin me.
Oh, no, but I had pinned you because you were showing me something. So 1 sec. I don't know if you can.
If you put it further towards the screen, we might be able to see it. Yeah, in where your head, yeah, that's it. Down a bit. No, don't keep moving it. You need to just stay one. Okay. Put it in front. Yeah, now stay. That's it.
You see it?
And then just that place, but come further up. No, that's it. Yeah, it's too close, but you can see it. Yeah.
You can see it.
Yeah, just put it back. Stay there. stay there.
You see it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. There we go. So that's my start. Right. So now I'm getting a darker pencil. Well, I'm getting a felt tip. So does anybody, so if you've got a dark, and you might be able to see this better or not. Nope. Oh, this is even harder. So what I really needed was a marker. Can you believe I was at an art meeting today and they had these wonderful markers. And I thought to myself, oh, they'll be amazing. I can use them for this, that, and the other. And then I got talking to somebody and I read that somebody else had taken them, or, oh, there you go, can you see? Yay. And you're not really meant to do this, but I'm trying to like, oh no, you are allowed to do this as long as my pen doesn't come off the paper, which it's trying not to. But then I get a bit of a messy line. But hey, this is not about a masterpiece. This is just about having a bit of fun.
Exactly.
Yes. See, I think one of the hardest things, and when you're an artist, some ways it's really easy for when you haven't done it before, because it's like, well, I created something. It doesn't matter what it looks like. I did it. I created something. But when you're an artist and people know you're an artist and you sell work and all the rest of it, you can kind of feel a lot of pressure to perform. And obviously that's not a good thing. We need to not, perform. And it's really good and it's really freeing when you can just play and it doesn't like this, like now, it doesn't matter what I'm producing. I'm just having a go. I'm just
likewise.
We're all on the same equal playing field. And the other thing is it's really good when you can get messy. So on these sessions, there are going to be times when we're going to get a bit messy. I will give you some, what's it called? Notice. So what you find now is the problem is though, is that I've not really done any shape. So I'm going to make a shape there. You're going to find that you've got shapes. Now, the lady had a proper marker, but I don't have a proper marker. I have a fine tip felt tip here. But you can see I'm making some shapes.
Yeah, if you want to actually tilt your easel round a little bit to your left.
One sec, I'll knock over some water.
It might be more flat on for us to see it. No, the other way.
Oh yeah, because the camera's there.
Mm-hmm. Just so we can see more of it, like rather than at an angle or a slant.
There we go. Why didn't I do that earlier? Ah, there we go, everyone. That's much better, isn't it?
Nah, it's all good. There you go. We can see it. That's fab.
It has been. Oh dear, I took my pen off. I broke the rules. Right, if you take your pen off, you have to change colour. That's the rules that I just made up, but I'm pretty sure that would be true. So with that being said, I'm going to start on the other side and we're going to see if we can find another shape over here. This is, oh, I did it again. I'm going to pretend I didn't do it then. Is anybody else finding it difficult to not take their pen off the page?
Yeah, I think it's a bit like not being able to eat a donut and lick your lips.
Yeah, isn't it?
Same issue. It's just automatic, isn't it? And Paul, yes, when I was a lot younger, for comic relief, we sat in the main hall in our school and we had to practice, and then we tried to make sure that we ate an entire donut without licking your lips. There was a lot of practice beforehand, and we it was quite a serious thing as a teenager, So yes, it's hard. Try it. Try it. Down Greg's, you get a donut, and I bet you can't get to the end of it and without licking your lips. It's so natural to do. There's a tutorial here and on Facebook, Isn't
it? And this was really dangerous. Well, there's a few they've stopped because they're really dangerous. But there was eating crackers I think without swallowing, was that one? Just seems,
No, I don't know. I haven't heard that one. I'll
Yeah.
take-
and then chubby bunnies, have you heard of that?
yeah.
They actually stopped that because it was so dangerous.
It's kind of a choking hazard, I guess. So.
It totally is. How it lasted so long in youth groups, I will never know.
Well, the poor rabbits.
Yeah, rabbit. What do you call it?
You actually use rabbits,
Something rabbits, it's called.
feeding rabbits.
Maybe. Wow, you know, if I stop and I turn away, my pen just turns into a blob on the paper.
Kind of what I feel at the end of a day when you stop. You have a bit of a blob on the sofa. Anyone get my feel on that one? You know what I mean? If you turn into a blob.
Is that? Yes, we've lost Paul. I'm sure he'll be back.
It's only next door. You can knock on the wall.
Where have you gone? Where have you gone? Oh, well, what? Oh, you know, I need you here, Joy, because I thought I had my camera angles right, and then you come and you're like, just that way, just a bit that way. Oh, yeah, that's right.
No, that wasn't a criticism. It was to try
no.
and enhance what you were doing, to be quite frank, so that
Very helpful.
I appreciate what you were saying. So I was only trying to be a help when aid, if that makes sense. So
You definitely are. You definitely are. Oh. Oh, we've lost Paul, haven't we? Sonia, did you manage to have a go at this, or are you doing your thingy, your awesome? Oh wow, amazing.
well done, Sonia. Looks fab.
So yes, so please do send me all these pictures later on, and we can make a little gallery. I'll pretend I didn't take my. Did anybody see them? Did I take my thing off the? So I think you can do this with paint, and we will do it with paint sometime. Oh man, you know, I can't find, where's that shape gone?
Don't worry, it's supposed to be relaxing.
It is, right? That's it, isn't it? It's like, I just did everything into it. Oh, dearie me, dearie me.
I'm not worrying. I'm just going with it as a starting point. So I'm not doing it 100% like the lady, but
I
I'm
know,
being
right?
inspired by it. So
I'm
The other
doing it.
thing, obviously, oh, sorry, Sonia, go on.
So this is oil pastels. I'm doing it this with.
Yeah.
oh,
I
lovely.
have to admit it works quite well on
Really excellent.
Yeah. I've got a bit of a disadvantage because I'm in a really awkward angle doing this. Oh, my arm.
Sacrifices you do for your art, Angie.
If what, sorry? Sacrifices, yes.
Yeah, you know.
I'm now running out of colours. Go with the purple. I can move my, yeah, I can do that. Why I didn't do that before, I don't know. Right, let's find another shape. Purple, my favourite colour. Okay, that's a bit better now. But I'm also doing this like on an easel as opposed to flat. It's so much easier when you do it flat. But then I would need a camera above me. And I know that on YouTube, that's how they do it.
Well, you need something like what I've got here, which like an arm that bends. And then if you've got something above somewhere, you could then, like at the side, you could then bend it over.
Ah. Just made a blob.
If you've got something like a knee that's higher, if it's a long enough arm, it can come over. Isn't it like a boom, like a sound boom?
Ah, of
That's
course.
an idea, isn't it? I'm sure that you can do something like that.
We have to go shopping for one, Joy.
What, you or me?
Well, have you got one?
Yeah, mine's on mine now.
Like a camera?
No, it's excuse me, everybody.
Oh, right.
See,
Oh, that's a light, right? Is that a light you've
this
got?
is the thing I've just had it in,
Ah, yeah.
and I've got it like up onto there.
Uh-huh.
So it's, you know, it's quite useful for different things that I do.
I bet you can get like an iPhone one that is like go bendy over or something.
It doesn't have to be, I mean, the casing is probably to any phone. It's like a grip. It's like a jaw like this.
Ah, yeah.
I'm bored of it. So it's not like a specific one to my phone.
Yeah.
So they're all on the market, so they're quite useful.
Yeah, I need to have a look.
Nice what you're doing, Angela.
Oh, yeah, you like it?
Yeah.
I cheated then, everybody. I had to pick up the pen with the other hand to keep it on the picture, otherwise it was going to fall off. Either that or my hand, my arm's going to fall off.
I think that's a bit exaggerating, you know. No
But,
offense,
yeah.
but think
Comedy
you
stroke dramatic value for TV.
yeah, you know what I mean. I think you'll be okay.
We're sort of on TV here, so.
We are. So you're going to give a bit
Beautiful.
of drama to the presentation.
Talking broccoli alert, but if you told me like even 20 years ago that I would sort of be on TV, because this is kind of on like TV in it, like YouTube. So we're not on YouTube yet, but we will be. I would have gone, you're crackers. But here we are, 2022, and we're all very used to being on a screen. We're all very used to kind of seeing ourselves almost like on YouTube. It's like, I'm going to have to take my hand off because killing. Right, let's find red. Do I have a red? I've got an orange, so I'll do. At least you can all see now, which is good. Oh no, what's this going on here?
Paul's not come back yet.
No, but he was on for quite a bit and he was on for the beginning, so.
And to be fair, he might have gone for a cuppa.
He might have gone for a cuppa.
You know, it's kind of normal, isn't it, this country for a cuppa? So
Very true.
Normal.
Like,
No, it just makes me wonder. People who don't come out in this country for much, but deprive them of their tea. And whoa, watch yourself.
I think
Very-
you're right there.
Yeah. Can you imagine the country with the demonstrations if there was a shortage of tea bags?
yeah. Very true, very true.
Is Paul on holiday with you, Angela?
You could say that, yeah.
Yeah, you can see the placards now. Bring back our PG.
Yes.
Sonia, I love your sense of humour.
Yeah,
What are you doing this weekend, Angela?
yeah. Just sit there.
Well,
Men.
outreach. I'm helping at an arts stall. Our art network for the town has a stall, so I'm helping there for an hour, selling some of my art there. It's nice. So anybody who sees this that's in Skem, you want to see some of my art, it's going to be at the WN8 craft fair this Saturday, and I'm going to be there if you want to speak to me from 3 till 4. So, and I will be at more craft fairs in the near future, so watch this space. Here we go, shameless plug. For anybody watching, I must pretend I didn't do that. I am selling Valentine's cards, Valentine's mugs, stuff for Valentine's. some of the pictures are out for that already. So have a look on my Etsy account, which I will post the link on my Facebook this evening, tonight. Oh, again, I have to take my hand off because it's killing. Joy, do you want to do a little plug? You doing anything at the minute?
Well, this is your thing, Han. I'm
Don't
here
forget to-
supporting you. It's not really to do with me. So, you know, I'm trying to honor, you know, but yeah, there's various things in the pipeline. So at the moment, I'm sort of, it seems quiet on the outside, but it's like a swan where it seems to be very still and gliding along on the top, but there's a lot of work going on underneath, so on the water. So that's kind of where it's at the moment. There's various things being done. So yeah, I'm not going to go into it. This is your thing, and so I'm not gonna. I don't feel it's appropriate. So
Very honouring of you. Thank you, Joy. Sonia, do you want to tell us anything about your art?
Yeah, it's just it began with a desire to learn how to draw. Because if you see some of the stuff I used to do,
Yeah.
in some ways, some people might like it because it's very childlike, but I wanted something more than just be able to sort of draw like I used to draw when I was 4, if you know.
Yeah.
You know, if you know what I'm saying. So I started on a journey to learn, to learn how to make what I saw on the page sort of appear. What I was doing, and that's been a journey of a few years. To be honest, I've still got some of the stuff now. Actually. I'll get you a couple of examples. Just bear with me a second.
Right, I'm going to do this right. I'm going to keep that like that, and then I'm going to pin.
Right.
Back in okay. And I've got a blob. Every time I stop, I have a blob.
When we're getting together, Angela.
Sorry?
When we're getting together, Angela.
Next Saturday. But everybody, that's not everyone who's listening on Facebook and YouTube. We're talking about our church. We're not talking about Come Paint With Me. Although I am starting a session very soon in person in the town. Just need to have it, what's the word? Confirmed. I need to meet with the gentleman who's running it. Possibly 2 in the town. And counting, but we'll see. And for yourself, Georgina, yeah, as always, you've reminded me that I need to get in touch with the people up there who might be interested.
Yeah. In touch with people who in Sebra who
Yeah,
are getting Come Paint With Me, yeah.
Yeah, people in Sedbury, yeah. So I can do an in-person session up there as well. That would be wonderful. Wow, we nearly, Sonia's going to show us some of her stuff. And then I'll tell you what we're going to be doing next week. I think she's coming back in a sec. Oh. Oh man, it's really hard. Really hard. Okay. I wonder where to put any like lines in it, like the woman. Don't know where's she gone.
Are you talking about Sonia or the woman?
The what?
Are you talking about Sonia or the woman?
Well, the woman I know, she's gone. A while ago, I think. She was on YouTube. You can learn anything on YouTube. Anything you want to learn, you can learn on YouTube, which I think's really cool. Oh wow, you can't even see me now. Oh. There she is. Oh, somebody's dying.
No, that was me.
Oh, okay.
Right. Right. This is where this is a lot earlier in my learning to draw.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, it's nice.
Brilliant.
Yeah, but then
Mm-hmm.
Ah. Yeah.
yeah, it's all very childlike.
Well, I wouldn't say a 4-year-old could do that, Sonia. So
Well, you know what I mean. And that one was it's more like sort of illustration for kids,
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
you know, type style. It was actually
Watercolour.
it's actually based on a real life dog that I knew, because he just absolutely loved bringing hedgehogs indoors.
No.
Well, he caught him really well. His angle in his body as well.
Yeah, fleas and all. He was absolutely fascinated with them. I never got it.
Fleas. Yes, fleas.
Yeah, he used to bring hedgehogs. You know, he's absolutely fascinated with hedgehogs.
Hedgehogs are fleas. That I hadn't twigged that then.
Yeah, he used to bring them in, fleas and all.
I like them. Like, yeah, I think there's a real place for like illustration. It's something that I'm going to go into. That is that no dog?
That's the same dog. You know,
Same dog.
because if you have a golden retriever, good luck. You never keep them out of water.
Testify that too. I can testify that as well, to be honest. So
Water, mud, or any kind of disgusting goo they could find to roll in.
cowpats. Ours
Yeah,
did cowpat.
You think it's funny, but when you've brought a dog home, it's actually sticking at a high heaven of dead fish. Then it's
It just goes straight in the bath. The first time I borrowed dogs and they came back so muddy. I mean, we were the ones that, walked them. And as I wasn't very, learned about dogs then, it didn't occur to me that I shouldn't walk them through the mud until I got home and I was like, okay, you're both going in the bath. So I bathed them. I haven't really bathed them since. They are meant to go. The lady does pay for the like expensive groomers and stuff. So
that's part of the thing with with having dogs. Some of it is expensive.
yeah,
and I did that one.
I love them, Sonia. And are these recent or are these from the past?
Which are from the past.
They're great. You
They're
can see
great.
the progression, Sonia.
Sorry.
Look.
There we go.
Amazing. I love them. And do you know what? Even though you're like, oh, I don't know if they're very professional, there's people out there. People will buy all sorts of things. Like, even in your development, as an artist, like you'd be like, oh, you produce something, you think, oh, that's not very good. And then people are like, oh, I like that. People like all sorts of things. So
Yeah, art, like singing voices, is very subjective, isn't it?
Very,
Um,
very subjective.
yeah.
So, okay. I might do some more on this next week because I'm going to get some. Oh, I think all of you have tried it though, haven't you? So probably we don't need to. Probably. I'm looking at my screen and you can actually see the glow where I've put the orange. I actually don't want to stop doing this now, but obviously people will get bored after a bit of me just. So, well, actually, I'll carry on doing it whilst I tell everybody what we're going to be doing next week. So we are going to get to paint at some point, but what I would like us to do next week is I would like us to bring items to make a vision board, because then that will inform what the next thing that we produce together. So I will be, go on.
But I've kind of got a vision board in my bedroom. It's a very, it's a matchstick illustration of a dream I was given of my call to work with kids.
Oh, wow. Okay, so the kind of vision board, we're going to make a collage one. So you
Okay.
can draw into it, but we're going to make a collage one. And so just to give you an idea, so it can be around who you are, like what you like, but also like think kind of like thankfulness. What are you thankful for? Which obviously talks a lot about who you are as a person. Oh my word, ow. Yeah, so I thought that would be a fun thing to do, and then that will give us some a vision board is really good for like inspiration. Like out of a vision board, you could get many pieces of work. So hopefully in the next week, some more people will join us. And we might take another line for a walk and we might do it in a different way, but if you can bring your bits and pieces to make a vision board, that'd be great.
You could email, there's lots of groups called WI Ladies Group. They might want to paint with me.
Women's Institute.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of possibilities. I tell you what, when you come and see us, Georgina, we'll have a little meeting and I'll get my notebook and I'll write all your ideas down and then I'll look into an action plan. How does that sound?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's lots of people. I mean, I went for private drawing lessons, but I was blessed enough to find one that only charged me £9 a session. But I know out there they are cost between anything from £18 to £25, per hour.
Yeah.
Quite standard actually, Sonia.
Pardon?
They actually can go up to private tutoring, go up to 30, 35.
Yeah,
So
exactly. And there's a lot of people out there, but they don't want to pay the earth, for private tuition.
Yeah.
it just depends what you want, really. I think with private tuition you get just a very bespoke and all the full attention for whatever time you pay for, and depends on what you're wanting from that particular tutor or their expertise in a certain area, or and so in some ways some people pay because they like that aspect of the bespoke thing that they can out of it, but it kind of depends on what you want, isn't it? And sometimes people prefer a group thing which suffices what they need as well. So it does depend, I guess, doesn't it, in what your needs are, what your budget is and everything.
Yeah, so come paint with me, also could be called come create with me. It's not so much about teaching, it's not so much about lessons, it's more about helping people to start, to have a go, to keep going, to get inspired, to let go, to de-stress, and to do something fun together and to build community. So it's not, I am planning on setting up lessons at some point, but these sessions are what they say on the tin. It's more of a thing for the well-being.
But there are loads of people out there who would just love to play. So Georgina's session of the WI, you know, WIs, you know, sort of women just getting together and having fun.
Yeah.
That's why I go
Yeah.
to a knit and natter session.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's just about the same thing, really. It's about community, you know, coming together, to have fun. You know, there's creative sessions that are just, they're purely there for fun.
Exactly. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. And no judgment, and in some ways embracing our inner child.
I can give you some telephone numbers over the phone, you know, Angela.
Well, you're coming next weekend, Georgina, so it'd probably be easier to do it sat down and probably talk about it in a different setting to this one, if that's okay. So just to reiterate, unless you hear from me again on the call and people on Facebook and YouTube, we're going to do 6 o'clock on a Wednesday from next week. Sorry, my brain's gone. And we're going to do vision boards. So bring bits and pieces to do a collage, so that it'll help us to get inspired in the future when we're not sure what to paint. Although I'm quite sure, definitely, the two artists on this call always know what to paint. But some of us, a vision board can be really helpful. So it's good to have one. I thought that would be a nice activity to do for us. And we will be working towards painting in the near future. All right, would anybody like to say anything in a closing comment?
No.
It's been a nice evening, Angela.
Good, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Georgina. Well, let me say thank you to all my guests for being on here tonight. And I will see you all at 6 o'clock next week. Look out for the advertisements, the reels, the bits and pieces that I'll be putting out. And maybe we'll even get to see some of the pictures that those that have been on the call this week have done. So good night from me. Good night from Company with me, and we'll see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Are you shutting down?